Welcome back. At least 8 people, including a child, were killed and 50 injured in the Africa Cup of Nations match in the host country, Cameroon. Distraught relatives vented their grief and anger outside a mortuary in the capital, Yaoundé. Many denounced the authorities for not beefing up security for the match. Thousands of Cameroonians tried to barge into the stadium to watch their side take on Comoros in the last 16 match. Cameroon won 2-1 to reach the quarterfinals. The United States is maintaining its aggressive stance against Russia, saying it has thousands of troops ready for deployment should Moscow attack Ukraine. European leaders, meanwhile, are hoping to sort things out through diplomacy. Yuan reports.
The United States has upped the ante in the tensions over Ukraine by placing up to 8,500 troops on high alert. According to the Pentagon, President Joe Biden ordered the soldiers to be ready for action should Russia invade Ukraine.
If any Russian forces move across the border, that's a renewed invasion. It will be met with a swift, severe, and united response on the part of the United States and on the part of our allies. So there is no ambiguity about that. There is no ambiguity. There is no daylight. We know that, and importantly, the Russian Federation knows that.
Right. This comes after Washington decided to evacuate family members of its diplomats and non-essential embassy employees in the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. Britain followed suit. But nations on the continent appear to be taking a softer stance following a meeting of European Union foreign ministers.
I don't think there is a need for us to do any kind of precautionary measure from the point of view of the number of our staff and their permanence in Ukraine. Part of the deterrence is not to give information. So don't worry. The measures will be taken and implemented at the appropriate moment, if it comes.
At this moment, I see no reason for us to pull out our diplomatic staff, because that came up over weekend.
Right.
And I think our presence, our diplomatic presence in Kiev is absolutely key, because what we are seeking is diplomatic solutions, and diplomats on the ground are part of that.
Russian troops have massed along the border with Ukraine, but Moscow insists it has no plans to invade its neighbor, pointing out that the West has been arming Kiev. Moscow is pressing for security guarantees, including the removal of Western missiles at its doorstep and no NATO membership for Ukraine. Wang, HKIBC.
U.S. President Joe Biden has been caught on camera swearing at Fox News reporter Peter Doocy. Biden did not realize that his microphone was switched on when he gave a sarcastic answer to Doocy's question.
Will you take questions on inflation next? Do you think inflation is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a...
Netizens on the mainland have questioned why information about a tragic death on the Shanghai metro was delayed. An elderly woman died on Saturday after a train began moving while she was still stuck between the platform's screen doors. Metro staff at Qian Road Station and other commuters tried to rescue her, but were unsuccessful. When the driverless train started moving, the woman was pulled behind the door with considerable force. She was pronounced dead in hospital. The metro operator expressed sorrow, but was criticized by netizens for not giving details earlier. A retreat by financial and tech firms on worries that the U.S. Federal Reserve will tighten policy this week led to a 1.7% drop in the Hang Seng Index today. Insurers were lower, with Ping An giving up 5.7%, while AIA lost 3.1%. Food delivery platform Meituan led a decline in the tech sector, falling 3%, as Alibaba was down nearly 2%. Debt woes continued to haunt mainland property developers, with Evergrande losing 6.5%, as it sought more time for a debt restructuring plan. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng closed the day down by 412 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tencent down $2.80, the Tracker Fund down by 40 cents, while Alibaba was down by $2.30. AIA was down $2.70, Ping An Insurance down $3.75, while JD.com was down by $8.60. The forex trading against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro's at 8.77, pound sterling at 10.46, and the Australian dollar at 5.55. Finally, in Europe, the London FTSE is currently up 62 points. China's yuan has reached a fresh 3.5-year high against the US dollar on strong corporate demand ahead of the Lunar New Year. The Chinese unit is also at an all-time high against the currencies of its major trading partners. Analysts suggest that Beijing is releasing its grip on the exchange rate. They also noted that the escalating tensions over Ukraine prompted a rush for yuan. A crop that is little known outside Ethiopia is being seen as a possible answer to food shortages.
So Ensect is a really unusual crop in that you can plant it any time of year, you can harvest it any time of year. It's perennial, so it gets larger and larger each year. And what this combination of traits means is that farmers can use it when they need it. It allows them to buffer seasonal food insecurity. And that gives farmers real flexibility to try and tackle problems like acute food insecurity.
The Ensect is also called a false banana. It looks like a banana tree but does not produce fruit. However, every part is useful, especially the root and base. These are mashed to make a type of bread called kocho, which is a staple food for around 20 million people in Ethiopia. Scientists say it has the potential to feed more than 5 times that number. On to the weather now. It will be mainly cloudy tomorrow with 1 or 2 rain patches at night. Temperatures will range between 18 and 20 degrees. Mainly cloudy with more rain patches before the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Tuesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Raymond Yeung. Thanks for watching. Good night.